Samantha, Rachel, and Mia had been best friends since they were children, growing up in the same neighborhood of a vibrant American city. High school only strengthened their bond, and together they navigated the social maze of teenage life. Samantha was the most trusting of the three, always going out of her way to help Rachel and Mia, whether it was studying for exams or dealing with heartbreak. As the trio reached the final year of high school, everything seemed perfect. They were planning their future together, laughing over coffee after school, and dreaming of attending the same college. However, Samantha had something they didn't: straight A's and a prestigious scholarship that promised her a bright future at a top university. Despite her friends' happiness for her, there were moments when she could sense a subtle tension in their laughter, a sharpness in their compliments. She ignored it, chalking it up to the stress of senior year. But beneath the surface, things were already starting to shift. Samantha's success soon became the seed of Rachel and Mia's growing jealousy. Both girls had struggled academically and were frustrated with their uncertain futures. Mia had been rejected by her top college choice, and Rachel's family was pressuring her to take a different career path than she wanted. The more Samantha thrived, the more Rachel and Mia felt left behind. They began to talk amongst themselves, sharing their frustrations, which quickly spiraled into something darker. Samantha, in their eyes, was no longer their equal. She was the friend who had everything, while they had nothing. They didn't hate Samantha, at least not yet, but every time she spoke about her future, their resentment grew. Rachel would roll her eyes when Samantha wasn't looking, and Mia would mutter under her breath about how some people get all the luck. As senior year progressed, Rachel and Mia began subtly undermining Samantha, but she remained blissfully unaware. It started small. Rachel would snicker when Samantha shared her ideas in class, or Mia would change the subject whenever Samantha talked about her scholarship. They'd exchange knowing glances behind her back, whispers trailing in the hallways. The real betrayal began when they started spreading rumors. Rachel told a few classmates that Samantha didn't earn her scholarship on merit but because her father had connections. Mia, quick to add fuel to the fire, suggested that Samantha had cheated on several tests to maintain her perfect grades. These rumors, while initially harmless, grew legs. Soon, Samantha found herself facing odd looks and whispered conversations whenever she walked by. Some of her classmates began to distance themselves from her, leaving her confused and hurt. Still, she trusted Rachel and Mia completely, unaware that her best friends were the ones feeding the lies. Samantha's scholarship party was the talk of the school. She had invited nearly everyone, and her parents spared no expense in making it a grand event. The house was decorated with twinkling lights, and the air was filled with excitement as her classmates arrived, eager to celebrate. However, for Rachel and Mia, this wasn't just a party, it was an opportunity. In the days leading up to the event, they schemed to bring Samantha down, believing it was time to knock her off the pedestal she had unknowingly been placed on. Rachel suggested a plan that would humiliate Samantha in front of everyone, while Mia, ever eager to play along, suggested using Michael, Samantha's longtime crush. Michael was a popular boy, and Samantha had harbored feelings for him since middle school. Rachel and Mia knew this, and they convinced him to lead Samantha on, making her believe that he was finally interested in her. The plan was for him to ask her to dance in front of everyone, only to publicly reject her in the most humiliating way possible. The night of the party arrived, and Samantha was radiant. She was unaware of the storm brewing behind her smile, eager to celebrate with her friends. When Michael approached her, her heart skipped a beat. He asked her to dance, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. But just as they stepped into the center of the dance floor, Michael loudly announced that he had no interest in someone like her. Laughter erupted from the crowd, led by none other than Rachel and Mia. Samantha's world shattered. Embarrassed and confused, she ran from the room, the sting of betrayal echoing louder than the music. Samantha locked herself in her room, the sound of laughter ringing in her ears. Tears streamed down her face as she tried to make sense of what had just happened. Why would Michael humiliate her like that? More importantly, why hadn't her best friends come to her defense? Rachel and Mia, meanwhile, reveled in their success. They played the roles of concerned friends in public, acting as if they were shocked by Michael's actions. but in private, they felt victorious, believing they had taken the first step in cutting Samantha down to size. The following week at school was unbearable for Samantha. The incident at the party spread like wildfire, and she became the subject of cruel jokes and whispers. Her confidence, once strong, began to waver. Yet, despite the pain, she never suspected Rachel and Mia's involvement. She turned to them for support, and they comforted her with false sympathy, all while continuing to feed the rumor mill. Rachel and Mia's next move was to attack Samantha's academic achievements. They began telling other students that Samantha had only earned her scholarship because of her father's influence. They claimed she had cheated on exams and manipulated teachers to maintain her perfect grades. These lies spread quickly, and soon, Samantha found herself on the defensive, having to constantly prove her worth. Mia, not content with just ruining Samantha's reputation, decided to take it a step further. In their social studies class, the teacher assigned a community service project that would have a significant impact on their final grade. Samantha had come up with a unique idea to host a charity event for underprivileged children, but before she could present it to the class, Mia stole the idea and claimed it as her own. Samantha was stunned when Mia presented the project in class, but when she confronted her afterward, Mia brushed it off with a laugh. "It's just an idea, Sam. You're being too sensitive." Samantha couldn't believe what was happening. The two girls she had trusted more than anyone seemed to be slipping away, and the worst part was that she didn't know why. As the lies and betrayals piled up, Samantha's mental state began to deteriorate. She was once the girl who had it all: good grades, popularity, and a bright future ahead. Now, she felt isolated and alone, questioning everything she thought she knew about herself and her friends. Her classmates treated her differently. Some no longer invited her to study groups, and others gave her cold stares as she walked down the hall. Even teachers seemed to look at her with suspicion, likely influenced by the rumors that Rachel and Mia had carefully planted. Samantha's grades began to slip as the weight of the gossip and her crumbling friendships consumed her thoughts. She spent more time alone, retreating into herself, trying to figure out where it had all gone wrong. In her heart, she still wanted to believe that Rachel and Mia were her friends. Maybe, she thought, she had done something to drive them away. After weeks of silence and distance, Samantha couldn't take it anymore. She needed answers. One afternoon, she gathered her courage and confronted Rachel and Mia in the school cafeteria. With her voice trembling, she asked them directly, "Why are you treating me like this? What did I do?" Rachel and Mia, ever the skilled manipulators, feigned innocence. They exchanged glances, as if they were surprised by Samantha's accusation. "We don't know what you're talking about, Sam," Rachel said coolly. "You've just been acting weird lately. It's like you've changed." Mia nodded in agreement. "Yeah, you've been so full of yourself lately. We didn't want to say anything, but you've been acting like you're better than everyone." Samantha was speechless. The gaslighting was so smooth, so convincing, that for a moment, she wondered if they were right. Had she changed? Had her success made her blind to the needs of her friends? But deep down, she knew something was off. Their words didn't match the actions she had seen, and the feeling of betrayal gnawed at her insides. The final straw came when Rachel and Mia sabotaged Samantha's end-of-year project, a culmination of all her hard work. Samantha had spent weeks preparing a presentation for her social studies class, and it was supposed to be her redemption after everything that had happened. But on the day of the presentation, her project was mysteriously deleted from the school's computer system. Panic set in as she frantically tried to recover the files, but it was too late. When it was her turn to present, she had nothing to show. Her teacher, disappointed, gave her a failing grade, which jeopardized her standing in the class. Samantha was devastated, and that night, she cried herself to sleep, feeling utterly defeated. Rachel and Mia, of course, pretended to be sympathetic. "It's such bad luck, Sam. I can't believe that happened to you," Mia said, barely able to hide the smirk on her face. Samantha knew then that they had gone too far. She couldn't take it anymore. A few days later, Samantha overheard a conversation that changed everything. She was walking past the gym when she heard Rachel and Mia's voices, laughing and talking about how they had sabotaged her project. She actually thought we were still her friends. Mia giggled. I can't believe she hasn't figured it out yet. Rachel, ever the ringleader, added, she deserved it. She thinks she's better than us because of that stupid scholarship. Now everyone knows the truth about her. Samantha's heart raced as she listened to them gloat about their betrayal. It was like a punch to the gut. All the pieces of the puzzle finally clicked into place, and she realized just how deep their deception ran. But instead of confronting them right then and there, Samantha decided she needed to be smarter about it. She needed proof. Samantha spent the next few days carefully plotting her revenge. She knew that direct confrontation wouldn't be enough. Rachel and Mia were too skilled at twisting the truth. Instead, she needed to expose them for who they really were in a way they couldn't deny. She began recording their conversations, discreetly capturing every cruel word they said about her. She also gathered testimony from other classmates who had witnessed their manipulative behavior. Slowly, she built a case against them, knowing that when the time came, she would have everything she needed to bring them down. But it wasn't just about revenge for Samantha. She wanted justice. She wanted everyone to know the truth about the two girls who had destroyed her life. And most importantly, she wanted to reclaim her own power. The perfect opportunity to expose Rachel and Mia came at the school's spring festival, a major event where most of the student body would be in attendance. Samantha arranged for the sound system to play the recording of Rachel and Mia's cruel conversations at a crucial moment during the festival. She timed it perfectly, ensuring that everyone would hear their confessions without realizing what was happening. As the festival's main event began, Samantha watched from the sidelines as Rachel and Mia took the stage to present a project they had stolen from another student. Just as they were about to begin, the speakers crackled to life, and the entire school heard Rachel's voice. She deserved it. I'm glad we ruined her project. The crowd fell silent, and the girls froze in shock. As the recording continued, detailing their lies, manipulation, and betrayal, the students began to murmur. Rachel and Mia's faces turned pale as they realized what was happening. Samantha had outsmarted them. In the days following the festival, Rachel and Mia's popularity disintegrated. They became the subjects of whispers and gossip, the same kind of treatment they had once inflicted on Samantha. Their peers shunned them, disgusted by their cruelty. Teachers who once held them in high regard now saw through their facade, and the administration began investigating their academic misconduct. Samantha, however, didn't feel the satisfaction she had expected. Watching Rachel and Mia suffer gave her no pleasure. Instead, it left her feeling empty. Revenge, it turned out, didn't heal the wounds they had caused. She thought about confronting them one last time, but she knew that nothing they could say would make things right. Rachel and Mia, humiliated and ostracized, refused to take responsibility for their actions. Instead of apologizing, they blamed each other for what had happened. Their friendship, once built on manipulation and envy, crumbled completely. Rachel stopped speaking to Mia, and Mia, out of desperation, tried to regain sympathy from others, but no one was willing to listen. Samantha began to rebuild her life, focusing on her future and regaining her confidence. The scholarship, once a symbol of her success, now felt like a burden, but she refused to let Rachel and Mia's betrayal define her. She distanced herself from the drama and began to form new, healthier friendships with classmates who had stood by her. Her grades improved, and she threw herself into preparing for college. Despite the damage that had been done to her reputation, Samantha found solace in her resilience. She had learned an important lesson. Not all friendships are meant to last, and sometimes, the people you trust the most can hurt you the deepest. Rachel and Mia, on the other hand, continued to spiral downward. Their once perfect image was forever tarnished, and even after the investigation into their misconduct ended, their peers never looked at them the same. Though they tried to repair the damage to their reputations, they struggled to find their place in the school again. But Samantha couldn't completely escape the past. Though she moved forward, she carried the emotional scars of the betrayal. The pain lingered, making her cautious about trusting others again. She often wondered what had driven Rachel and Mia to act the way they did, but she knew she might never fully understand. Just when Samantha thought she could finally leave the nightmare behind, she noticed something disturbing. New rumors about her began circulating, whispers that hinted at unresolved jealousy and lingering resentment. It seemed that despite their public humiliation, Rachel and Mia had not given up their vendetta against her. They had found new allies, other students who were unhappy with Samantha's rise in popularity once again, and began to quietly spread rumors about her personal life, suggesting that she had only succeeded by manipulating the system. The betrayal was far from over, it was evolving, becoming more insidious. Samantha's heart sank. The toxic cycle of envy and betrayal, it seemed, had no end. She realized that even if Rachel and Mia were no longer her friends, they weren't finished with her. Their hatred ran too deep, and they were determined to bring her down one way or another. But this time, Samantha wasn't the same vulnerable girl they had once fooled. She had grown stronger, wiser, and she refused to let them control her again. Instead of confronting them directly, she chose to focus on her future, knowing that their pettiness could only harm them in the end. The story doesn't end with Samantha's triumph or Rachel and Mia's downfall. The cycle of backstabbing, jealousy, and manipulation remains, lurking in the shadows, waiting for another opportunity to strike. Samantha's journey continues, but now, she is better equipped to face whatever comes next. As for Rachel and Mia, their futures are uncertain, driven by their unresolved anger and bitterness. The toxic friendship that once united them has left lasting scars, not just on Samantha, but on themselves. The question remains, will they ever learn from their mistakes, or are they doomed to repeat the cycle of betrayal once more? Only time will tell.